Hello, people of YouTube. My name's Jason. Thanks for stopping by today. Gaming headsets. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. I mean, I've been a casual gamer for a long time, and only recently, when I got a PS4, did I start getting more seriously into gaming, trying to get into a hobby that wasn't something that sort of made me insane. Be that as it may, I have about 25 plus years of experience as a musician and a studio musician, as well as an audio engineer. And so when I started to get more seriously into gaming, I first got a set of Turtle Beach headsets, kind of a middle of the road set of Turtle Beach, not the lowest that they had, not the best that they had. These are them right here, the Turtle Beach PX22. I got them when I got the PS4, so I guess it was sometime in November, maybe around Thanksgiving. I used them up until a week or two ago, and they were perfectly fine. What I really liked about them was the fact that while the sound quality wasn't probably the best that you could get, you could monitor your headphone and your microphone so that you could hear yourself talking along with the other people that you were in-game chatting. I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 4. In-game chat was brand new to me, and coming from the audio world, it was really important to me. I was really used to the idea that when you speak into a microphone, you hear your voice back. And so the Turtle Beach, even at this mid-level, they were $79, kind of gave me that opportunity to be able to hear my voice back. But after a while, they really started to hurt my ears where my glasses are, kind of hurt my jaw right here. They sort of pressed into the jawline and made me feel like I was starting to get TMJ or something. And so I just thought, well, I'm clearly going to play more seriously now, so I'm going to go and see what there is out there in the world of gaming headsets. So while I didn't really think that I was going to get into audiophile territory, nor was I really even interested in audiophile headphones when it came to gaming, I did want something that really didn't hurt me, either physically or inside my ears, that had good quality in its build. The Turtle Beaches, while they are quite functional, they feel extremely cheap, and over the longer period of time, it's just not satisfying to pick up something that's all kind of plastic and janky and want to try and use it. So that was another reason why I wanted to move away from them. The quest begins. I also wanted to get away from the wires. These PX22s are wired, and in this day and age, I mean, it's nice to go wireless. I went out and got the PlayStation Pulse Elites, $149. Best Buy had a couple of pairs left. This was last week, and I brought them home. First night that I used them, I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. They have the bass impact function with a little motor in there that makes stuff shake when things shake in the game, and it was pretty cool. But I found that the chat functionality, I couldn't get that thing that I loved from Turtle Beach, which was to be able to monitor my microphone signal back in and mixed in with the rest of everybody else who was talking. There was what I guess in gaming headset lingo is called side tone, which, you know, in audio recording it's called fold back or monitor mix or whatever you want. So there is side tone on those Pulse Elites, and you can set it to 2 different levels, and I did try that. But even at the highest level, I could not hear myself back. I just couldn't. So that was really bumming me out. It really kind of freaked me out to not be able to hear my voice along with everybody else. And it's a habit that I don't think I'm going to be able to break because I'm so used to it after 20 plus years of putting on headsets, talking into microphones, and expecting to hear my voice back. And then after I played with the Pulse Elites for a few days, they're very heavy. And the headband just started to dig into my scalp and be very uncomfortable. The headset wasn't as comfortable as I needed it to be. Those were 2 strikes that I wasn't willing to withstand. So I returned them. And you know what I really wanted at the time, and I just couldn't justify spending $300, were the Astro A50s. by all standards that I read online, you know, these things are fantastic. There's the SteelSeries H wireless out there as well that people like a lot, but I like to be able to have in my hand what it is that I'm buying when it comes to audio equipment. I don't like to order that stuff online. So I went out to the Best Buy. I picked up the A50s. I brought them home. I set them up. They were easy to set up. They felt like, you know, similar quality to the A40s that I'd had before. And I put them on. And over the course of the next 2 days, as I played, you know, 3-4 hour gaming sessions, man, I don't know what it was. They're a closed back design like these are, but I don't know what it was. I would take the headset off, and they weren't super loud because I don't like to blast my ears with stuff. I like to be able to hear everything in a nice balance. But my ears would just feel swollen inside and ringing. They would just be ringing. So tinnitus was starting to happen with these headsets, with the A50s. And so I said, well, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a couple of days, and if it doesn't get any better, maybe my ears just need to get used to what's going on, then I'll have to take them back because I don't want to risk my hearing. I'm an old guy, so, you know, gray beard, etc. I don't want to ruin my hearing more than I already have from, you know, 30 years of rock and roll playing with these gaming headsets. And it didn't get better, so I took them back. And I took that $300, and I thought, you know, the new PlayStation Gold Wireless 7.1 headset had just come out, and the Best Buy had some. I thought, you know, I'm just going to get 2 sets of headphones. I'm going to see what they're like, and then may the best set win. So what I got was, with the $300, I got the PlayStation Wireless Gold headset, and I picked up, because I was just intrigued, you know, the build quality looked really nice, and, you know, the bells and whistles seemed to be at least intriguing. So I picked up the Afterglow Dolby 5.1 wireless headset with, you know, the ear cups that have neon in them, or LEDs, and the stand that has an LED in it, and they were $200. So that's $99 for the PlayStation Wireless Gold Edition and the Afterglow 5.1s. Brought them home, plugged them in. First I decided, well, I'm going to go with the Afterglow, so I'm going to try those out. They were still charging. I had them plugged in. And one thing I liked about the Afterglows was they gave you cables that were long enough. They were high quality feeling cables. The headset itself, the build quality was nice. The sort of leatherette that the ear cups had on them was nice and soft and supple. So I was really digging that. And I put them on, and they sounded okay. They were decent. The one problem that I had with them was that when I got into a game and I was trying to chat, they had dials on the back where you could mix in chat sound versus game sound. And everybody's microphone levels were different. So if I had somebody in my party who was talking at a lower volume, or their mic was at a lower level, then I couldn't hear them unless I dialed that chat game volume rocker back to the place where the game sound went almost away, and then I had to roll it back. So game sound was really low, chat volume was okay, but I really thought that doesn't give me a lot of room for error in terms of getting that game chat volume mixture happening the way that I would need to across the board. But still, they were nice. They were a nice headset. The sound quality wasn't awesome. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't like these. It wasn't like the Bluebirds that I have. The Blue Buds, I should say. So I thought, well, I'll give them a couple of days. I'll back and forth with the PlayStation Pulse Elites. Not the Pulse Elites, but the blue, the Gold Wireless. Here they are. These just came out, I think it was last Tuesday, the 11th. They have a nice, I mean, I've heard people complain about the build quality, but these are a nice, you know, it's not fancy, it's not shiny, but they're nice. This is a nice kind of memory foam. The plastic it feels pretty solid. They fold and they adjust. I mean, they don't do anything special. They've got controls back here for volume, for virtual surround sound, for mute. This is also where you can adjust the side tone. They've got the chat sound volume here. They've got 2 places here for a specialized mix at number 2, and then just the regular. See that this is our baseline sound, nothing added, nothing taken away, for number 1, and the off switch. And then it's got a 3.5 millimeter jack here, and it's got the charging port right here, which is a micro USB, which is nice. So I was going back and forth between these and the Afterglows, and I can't show you the Afterglows because I took them back. The reason that I took them back was because as soon as I unplugged the charge cable, this right ear cup started buzzing. Some kind of ground problem, something like that. I don't know what it was, but it was just buzzing, and I couldn't do anything to get it to go away. And that's just a no-go for me. I need a product that functions the way it's supposed to, basically. And maybe I could have returned them and tried another pair, but after switching back and forth with them for a night or two, it just wasn't worth the effort. I started to feel like these PlayStation Gold Wireless 7.1s were beating the $200 Afterglows. And these are $99. $99. Now, $99 usually means in the headset world that these are cheap, especially if they're wireless and they have a bunch of other functionality like these. But see, here's the thing. Here's what I started to think. I started to think, like, what if PlayStation and Sony has decided, we want to sell our peripherals. We want to get into the headset market. They did a great job with the Elite, the Pulse Elites, even though they didn't work for me. People loved them. And so they make this kind of a value-added thing. They don't need to make a ton of money with these. They can make them with quality. They can keep their profit margin low, and they can sell a ton of them if they're good. So I started to think, what if they just decided to make the best possible headset that they could make within a certain price point, with a thin profit margin. So I decided I was going to keep doing this shootout to try and figure out what is the best possible headset that you can get, or that at least that I can get, something that sounds good to me, something that gives me the microphone functionality that I want. And that's one thing. The side tone feature functions in the same way on this Gold Wireless as it does with the Pulse Elite. Same way to implement it. You press the mute button, it beeps, and then it beeps twice, and that's for level 1 of side tone and level 2. But you can hear level 2. You can hear it back in your left ear cup, whereas before it really wasn't audible. So good implementation of that here. So I want to be able to hear myself talk. I want good sonic fidelity with the gaming functionality that we need, and I want it to be comfortable. Those are the 3 things: mic monitoring, comfort, and overall decent fidelity with game functionality that doesn't get in the way and doesn't make me think about what the headphones are doing, so I can concentrate on what I'm doing. I know that Turtle Beach has all the functionality that I want, but I also know that the Turtle Beach were a little uncomfortable on my head. And honestly, the build quality of the Turtle Beach, they just feel like crap. Every set that I went in the store and picked up just felt like cheap, cheap, cheap. And so I couldn't bring myself to go there again. I went back and dropped the $250 for a set of Astro A50s. They come with the headset, they come with the mic, and the mic is detachable, and you can switch it from one side to the other, which doesn't matter to me. The mic on the left-hand side is fine with me, and I don't know why I might want to change it. I don't think I ever will. They are not closed-backed like the A50s. If you can see here, they have some spacers here, so the sound does escape. So I thought I could feel pretty comfortable that they weren't going to give me that tinnitus problem that the A50s were giving me if it was related to the closed back design. And these are closed back. I've never had a single problem with them. The side tone on this is not adjustable, and it is not existent in the way that I am used to and expect to be able to hear myself. It's not a feature of the A50s, and I know pro gamers out the wazoo use these things. But coming from the background that I'm coming from, I expect to be able to hear myself, and I can't with these. The open back design makes it a little easier to hear myself, you know, acoustically from the room, but the microphone is not giving me that fold back, that monitor mix that I have come to expect and am used to and feel a little weird about if I don't get it. On to the tests where it was the A50 against the Gold Wireless by Sony. Now, I know you guys are all sitting out there saying, well, it's no comparison. It can't be any kind of comparison. I mean, these are $250. They are the gold standard of gaming headsets. Everyone loves them. Everyone talks about them. Everyone who's anybody uses them. You watch a commentary video, whatever, you see these things on everybody's desk. And there's a part of me that wants to believe in that and say these must be the best. And then there's these, which, like I said, I mean, they're kind of a value-added thing. They're a branded Sony product that's meant to go with their game system, but it's not meant to be the best possible headset that you could get. Don't get me wrong; these A50s are a nice headset. You know, they have all the functionality, or the A40s. I'm sorry, they have everything that you would want traditionally from a gaming headset. They work great. The mix amp works great. But as I use them back to back with this, and basically what I would do is I would play a round of Conquest with one set on, and then I'd switch them out and I'd play with the other set, and I'd go back and forth. And then on day two, I kind of played a couple of rounds with one set and then another couple of rounds with another set, so that I could really get a sense, like, what is my experience like using both of these? You know, you could break down the specs and you can talk about the price and you could do all that kind of stuff, but really, what is the experience like with this headset and this headset? Because now I've gone out and bought 5 or 6 different pairs, and I've narrowed it down to finally these two. And here's what I found. I mean, these sound good in-game, but if I'm listening to music, if I'm watching a movie, something like that, they just don't sound great. They don't sound great at all, really. They sound a little muddy. The bass is not refined. It's just, they're a little wonky. I just listen to them flat, listen to music, which is how I know headsets, how I've listened to music for, these 40 plus years. These don't sound awesome with music. Now, again, that's not really the point, right? That's not really the point. This is a gaming headset. I'm here to tell you, though, especially at the $99 price point, these sound fantastic with music. I've listened to Sony headsets that sound like crap. I mean, terrible. I couldn't even stand to have them on my head, let alone listen to anything through them. These are pleasing. These have a nice separation of sound. They have a decent sound field. In-game, these don't have the thump that the A40s have. The A40s definitely have that bass response. They kick at you, etc., etc. They don't have that. Sometimes when there are low-end explosions going on, these don't thump at you, which sounds better. I think I could play on either. I think I could play on either and be completely happy. And this is the first time in all of this round of everything that I feel like I could be happy with a headset. I see these as potentially becoming like the DualShock 4 controller, a ubiquitous peripheral for your PlayStation 4, something that works, is high quality, and really does the job. And yes, you can go higher end and say, well, you know, I'm going to get the best thing that there is. But here's the whole point. These are as good in many, many ways, and in some ways a little bit better than the end-all be-all Astro A40s. That's the long and short of this entire video. And I was shocked, absolutely shocked. I mean, I trust my ears. You know, but if we're talking about overall experience, sound quality, functionality, and comfort, these things win. These things win. Now, the A40s are what they are, and people love them. And if these didn't exist and I just had the A40s, I'd be probably super happy. These things don't bother me at all. The surround is super. It's great. It just works well. You can tell that there's directionality to the stuff, but it's not wild and crazy and everything like that. It's just surround sound. And you can tell there's footsteps behind you, or there's, a tank coming off in the distance back, to your left or right or whatever. They just work. So here I am holding a $99 headset, and I'm a guy who always wants to buy the most expensive thing. These things are, in fact, as the name suggests, gold. Will they stand up over time? I think the build quality is pretty solid, and there's not a lot that can go wrong with them. I mean, this hinge maybe, but it's not really, it looks like it's a little detented hinge. So I'm just going to put this out there. If you want a good headset, and money aside, the Sony Gold Wireless are one of the best headsets that I put on my head in a long, long time. They work great for gaming. They sound great with music and movies. And they are seamless with the PlayStation system. So go out and grab a pair. Go out and grab two. You could get 2.5 for the price of the A40s. You can get 3 sets for the price of the A50s. And, keep an open mind. Check them out and see what you think. Leave me a comment below. And thanks for taking the time to listen. All right, so that's it. Later on.